Today we're going to focus on a skill that you might not actually associate with G&B, and that is the skill of being able to carry heavy stuff. Now I'm surrounded by weights, sandbags, weight vests, kettlebells, and today what I'm going to do is talk a little bit about the importance of being able to have the skill of carrying heavy stuff. And I'm also going to give you some examples that you can start working on today to improve that skill. It's going to carry over for everything in your life, not just making sure that you only have to carry all the groceries into your house in one trip. All right, so the first thing that we're going to take a look at is something that you probably have in your house right now that you can use and start working on these carries, and that is a backpack. Way back when, I was actually a guide in the mountains before I came to Japan, and this is the backpack I used. And so this backpack, one thing is that it has this nice hip belt. What I like to do from time to time is simply load up a backpack and just go for a walk. Now, if you don't have weights, that's not a problem. I've got all these books here, and you can adjust the weight of the backpack, obviously, by how many books you put in your backpack. I've always got a weight in here just to have it. But some other examples that I like to do is sometimes if I don't want to go too heavy, I'll still have that weight in there. I'll put a rope. This is my climbing rope. I'll just put my climbing rope in the backpack. Really great source for this is GoRuck and GoRuck.com. Rucking is the military term for simply putting a lot of stuff in your backpack and walking long distances, okay? And so we'll go ahead and link to that. More information on GoRuck if you're interested on going deeper into that. All right, so next up, we've got farmer walks. Now, farmer walks, typically you're just holding something in each hand of equal weight. In this case, I've got two 20-kilogram plates, 45 pounds. These are great because they got handles on them. Basically, I'm deadlifting in the beginning, making sure I have good posture when I'm doing this, standing up. Then I'm just gonna go for a walk. And in terms of the walk, you can do a couple ways. I like to do it for time and or distance. Next up is the suitcase carry. This is simply where you just have something in one hand. So same thing, make sure that you have good posture when you're picking this up. Chest is up, looking directly ahead, standing straight up. This is great for core strength. Really recommend that everyone focuses on this. One thing about this, make sure that you're doing both sides. Very important. Notice that the way that I just picked it up, that's another example of as you get more proficient with particular lifts, you can work on looking at cross lifting. This is another way to further strengthen the body in terms of carrying and picking different things up. And I especially love doing suitcase carries with a kettlebell. In fact, I like to do these outside of my neighborhood just to entertain the neighbors. That guy's cigarette really helps a lot with my breathing. It's great, I love it. Another great variation of the suitcase carry is where you can put on a weight vest, or you can put on your backpack, fill it with books, and just carry something in one hand. Do this for time or for a particular length as you're walking up and down. Make sure again that you switch sides. All right, so next up, some of my favorite carries. We're gonna be using the sandbags. Now, this is from a company called Ultimate Sandbag. They sent these to me to just play around with, so thank you very much for doing that. Anaconda strength. Talking about this, all you're gonna do is you're gonna pick up your sandbag, give her a squeeze. Okay, different grips you can work on, okay? Main thing though is make sure that your posture, you're making sure that you're in a good position, that you're not leaning too far back, not leaning too far forward. Your good posture, squeezing your elbows in, pulling them in, good grip, just go for a walk, okay? That's really it. Some other examples of this are where you can move the bag around while you're doing it. Here's an example of a carry that you can work on when you're doing it. You can even throw it up on your shoulder, walk around. Feel free to even grab something else. You can grab a weight, where you have sandbag on your shoulder, weight in your hand, go for a walk, and then switch off while you're doing it. So many different options to play around with. And that is just a very brief look at loaded carries. All right, so in terms of programming, let's just keep it simple. And I'm gonna share a couple examples with you of how I like to use these loaded carries. First off, I don't do these every single week. I have particular times throughout my cycles that I like to include them in there. Sometimes it can actually be a full workout where I will have a few different of these loaded carries. It could be a suitcase carry, farmer carry, it could be a sandbag on my shoulder. And what I will do is cycle between those in a circuit fashion where I would do, for example, a minute of the suitcase carry on my left side, then a minute on the right side, then I could do shoulder carry, shoulder sandbag carry, or some other carry. And basically what I'm doing is just a circuit of these. Another example that you could use would be to have these carries as a finisher for whatever session that you're working on. And a finisher for me would simply be to pick one particular carry. And what I would do is just do it either for time or distance. So the example that I like to do in terms of myself would be outside of here in front of my gym. I basically walk all the way down to the end of the block if I'm doing like a suitcase carry with one arm, and then I'll switch and I'll carry all the way back. I try and go as heavy as I can so that I'm just completely taxed, which basically is gonna fry my grip, and that's why it's a finisher. And so save that to the very last, end with that, so then I'll be done and I'll have the chance to recover afterwards. Make sure you start off with a load that's light enough that is gonna allow you to safely learn this skill. And then as you get better and stronger, you simply increase that load. Again, subscribe, and hey, enjoy. No matter what you're doing, enjoy, enjoy, enjoy. Cheers.